We're going to cover the 4 key aspects behind strength training for linebackers, and we're going to start right now. What's up, everybody? It's Dane Miller from GarageStrength.com, and if this is your first time to the channel and you're interested in becoming a freak athlete, you want to run faster, you want to get stronger, you want to be more explosive, make sure that you like, you subscribe, and you ring that notification bell so we can help you become a better football player. So over the last decade here at Garage Strength, we've developed multiple all-state linebackers. We've also trained multiple Power 5 Division I linebackers, starting linebackers at Pitt, at Penn State, at all these top-notch schools. And it comes down to how we break down the strength training for linebackers. And if we can think about that position in general, it's essentially the quarterback for the entire defense. It's one of the hardest positions on the gridiron to play. There's so many moving facets going on. There's so many different factors that go into being a successful linebacker. And if we don't do a good job of training linebackers in the weight room, on the field, with sprint mechanics, then we're going to fail in developing the best possible linebacker. And the role of the linebacker is it's a key to having a strong defense. It's a key to dominating inside of a game. So to develop a very, very effective linebacker, there's a lot of different facets that go into that, but that's why it's a pivotal part behind having a very, very good football team. So when we think about the position of linebacker, we've got to see that all of these guys are going to be taking on blocks from guards, from fullbacks, from tight ends. There's a lot of different moving pieces, and they've got to take these blocks on effectively. And that's that 4th key factor in strength training for linebackers, is that we've got to develop a ton of absolute strength. And so what does that mean? If we can think about it from the perspective of absolute strength, is we've got to increase our back squat. We've got to increase our full clean. We've got to increase our bench press. We've got to increase our pull-up strength. All of those different movements are going to have a key role in developing absolute strength. And think about if we've got a linebacker that can clean 350 pounds and they can back squat close to 500 pounds for reps, versus a linebacker that can only clean 275 and they can only back squat 350 pounds. Which one's going to take on that blocking guard or that blocking fullback more effectively? The linebacker that has a bigger clean, that has a bigger back squat, if skill is equal, is the one that is going to dominate that position. So developing absolute strength is a pivotal part behind developing a really good linebacker. That 3rd key factor behind strength training for linebackers is making sure that our linebackers have really, really good lateral speed. And what goes into lateral speed is there's a lot of strength work. There's a lot of glute work that we've got to do to make sure that we can move well laterally. There's a lot of mobility work that we've got to work around inside of our hips with these linebackers to make sure that they can scrape down the line and follow their running backs, follow their keys, follow their key blocks, and read what the opponent is doing. They've got to have really good lateral speed. And that means developing that in the weight room, but also developing that on the track, developing that on the field, using various strength exercises to improve lateral speed is absolutely key. I even recommend for a lot of linebackers, go out and play tennis. Get your linebackers to play tennis. They'd laugh at you. They'd say tennis players are sissies. But then they'd realize how quickly these guys move side to side and how much coordination goes into tennis. So playing tennis, along with doing these strength exercises, along with increasing mobility, along with doing these side running drills, is a key component behind developing a top-notch Power 5 linebacker. And that takes us into the number 2 aspect, and that's reactive capability. If we can think about what we just described, moving laterally, seeing somebody move based around the coverage that you're in, and then reacting quickly. Linebackers have to be able to react as quickly as possible while still having that absolute strength, while utilizing their lateral speed. So utilize plyometrics effectively. Make sure that they're reacting very rapidly. Let's say we're doing something like hurdle hops or single leg hops over a hurdle to a side jump to a hurdle hop. These are very complicated plyometric movements, but they transfer very, very well to the football field and they improve that reactive capability. The faster our linebackers react, the better positioning they're going to be in. If you can read that running back and react faster to beat the guard to where you need to be, or to beat the fullback, or to beat the tight end, if you react just a slight bit faster, you can be in a better position, and that can get you to that next level. But it's got to be trained. It has to be developed effectively for our linebackers to get their play to the next level. So before we get into that number one key facet, all of these different things are very complicated to program. They're very complicated when it comes to developing a linebacker from day one and getting them to that Power 5 school. And that's why we put together our linebacker and running back base strength program. You can click on the link down below. You can head over to garagestrength.com and you can pick up your strength training program to help you develop these key elements behind being a top-notch linebacker. Finally, that number one key aspect behind being a Power 5 top-notch linebacker is understand acceleration mechanics. And this is a huge failure that I see in strength and conditioning coaches. This is a huge failure that I see in football coaches, is they love to ignore the world of track and field. And they'll sit there and they'll just say, well, track and field's different. They're just running linear. They're on a 100-meter track and they're not actually doing anything that's gonna relate to football. And they don't take a step back and recognize that when 100-meter runners or 200-meter runners come out of the blocks, the first 20 to 30 meters is all about acceleration. So let's take another step back. Let's learn acceleration mechanics. Let's understand what our arms should be doing. Let's understand what our shin angle should be doing. Let's understand what our torso should be doing. Let's understand how we should be grounding to optimize our speed on the football field. Stop being ignorant. If we have somebody that has very good absolute strength and their lateral speed is phenomenal, and they're reactive, they have a tremendous reactive capability. They can read very, very quickly, and they can read and react. If they read and they react and they have very good acceleration mechanics, now we're gonna get a forward lean. Now we're gonna get more aggressive arm swings. Now we're gonna get that shin angle and we're gonna get that push, push, push to dominate the running back. If we don't know how to lean properly, how to utilize our torso properly, if we don't know how to utilize our arms in our drive phase properly, we don't know how to accelerate into that hole and to make the play. So stop ignoring the track and field world. The track and field world has studied the biomechanics behind this. And now with the football world, we can transfer those acceleration mechanics that they use on the track to the football field. And now our linebackers can start to dominate all over the field. They can make those big plays because of their absolute strength. They understand how to utilize that lateral speed and how to react effectively with their acceleration mechanics. And that's exactly how you develop top-notch, world-class Power 5 linebackers. If you want more information about linebacker-based training, head over to garagestrength.com and pick up your linebacker or how to get faster strength training program. If you want more videos about football-based training, you can click on this card right here. Until next time, guys, peace.